back when we recorded in 3D, the discussion on Rocky 13, I kind of pitched this idea of like what makes a timeless Weird Al parody. And I think it's a combination of two things. One, you need subject matter that is actually timeless, something that will resonate for generations to come. It can't be something contemporary, like a movie that came out in 1992 that has no relevance in 1994. And it can't be something universal, like Oreo cookies are good. Yeah, they're good. Everybody knows they're good. It's not really a timeless quality. But when you pick subject matter that is timeless, you don't have to pick a contemporary song to go with it. If you have timeless subject matter, you can reach way back, as far as you need to go, to pick the perfect song to parody. This is a very rare conjunction of events, and in all of the discography, we're halfway through now, more or less. So far, Al has not swung at that T once. In my opinion, he has made 4 attempts at a truly timeless parody. I think he has succeeded twice. And I think 2 of those attempts are on this album. Dan, my body is ready for Hastily Made History about my first Weird Al album.
Oh, there's nothing hasty about the history for this one.
Yeah, you've been in the mines digging up all of the details.
Oh, that's right. We are listening to Alapalooza, released on October 5th, 1993. It was recorded at Santa Monica Sound Recorders. Engineered and mastered by Tony Papa, assisted by Jamie Dell and Colin Sowers. These guys have been working on stuff, and they'll continue to be working on stuff. Most of the original material for this was written after Off the Deep End was released, but the key word is most. The album was recorded over the course of November 1992 to August 1993. Critical reception at the time was mixed, ranging from "it's all right" to negative, which shocked me.
I read some of those negative reviews, and I'm like, who are these people? Are they aliens that don't understand comedy?
From a planet near Mars.
It peaked at 46 on the Billboard charts, and it went gold and platinum. And Jurassic Park was nominated for 1994's Grammy for Best Music Video, but lost to Rolling Stone's Love is Strong, a video that I'm sure we all remember fondly.
I have not seen it.
What? Who are the Rolling Stones?
So for personnel, coming back for this album, we've got Weird Al, Jim West, Steve J, and John Bermuda Schwartz as the band. The Waters Sisters are back for backing vocals. Warren Looning returns for trumpet, Joel Peskin on clarinet, Tommy Johnson on the tuba, Brad Buxer on synths for Jurassic Park. And, unfortunately, musical Mike Kiefer returns for hand percussion. Now, we do have some new personnel, though. We've got Ruben Valtierra on keyboards. He's a touring musician. He played with a lot of rock groups. He met Al at Dr. Demento's 20th anniversary gig and joined the band soon after. Ruben would tour and record with Al from this point forward. And Sandy Berman provides dinosaur sounds on Jurassic Park. The sound editor, sound effect creator, Foley work, R.I.P., died in June 2017. He loaned Al from a library that he did for a theme park ride. That's how we got the dinosaur sounds. And last but not least, we've got some album art here. We've got this beautiful, stylized Weird Al dinosaur. The art direction was done by Command A Studio, the team of Brian Johnson and Jesse DeFranco. The Alapalooza logo was designed by David Westwood. Photography by Rocky Schenk. He's done a lot of album photography for like Devo, Alice in Chains, so Violent Femmes. And David Peters provides the Yankosaurus and other dinosaur imagery in the liner notes. Oh, I love this artwork, guys.
Anytime I look at any other Weird Al album, it takes me a second to calibrate, because this was the first one that I saw and heavily associate it with Weird Al.
This is just a generic logo album. I'm sorry. The actual album art does nothing for me. The reverse side of it, of all of the poses and Al's melting brain, I need that to become a Draw the Squad as meme.
I mean, in an objective sense, Buttface is right. What can you say about the album art? We already said it about even worse. It's the only album art you can do for Alapalooza.
Yeah.
I didn't even post all the interior like liner notes and other things. Like they've got a picture of Freddie Mercury in there because, of course, there's some good bits where you can see the Yankosaurus, which is a collage / mixed media composition of Weird Al as a dinosaur. Even though Off the Deep End was the first album produced, quote unquote, as like a, CD first thing, reading through all of the liner notes in this actually feels like what we would get on CDs at the time, because CDs would let us have like nice thick booklets in them of just all sorts of cool stuff that we couldn't really get with records. That's how you can tell we're really in the 90s. We've got 90s album production here.
Not quite. It is, again, the end of an era on this album. Here's why.
Okay.
Buttface, you can just check out. You're not going to understand any of this. In the 90s, you bought a CD. It was like a plastic thing, a little jewel case. So you had the jewel case, the book slid into the front, and along the left side where it opened up was this black ridged margin. There's a technical term for it, I'm sure.
It's the spine.
The spine, yes. But on the front side, it was just this black ridged thing. Well, in the mid-90s, they started manufacturing jewel cases that had transparent ridged spines, so the album art could continue over into the spine. Alapalooza is the last of Al's CDs that has that solid black ridge. That is the only factoid I can add to this conversation, and I'm very proud of it.
That is a good factoid. I approve.
I listened to this album on streaming services.
Ugh. You millennials with your iPods. Highly recommend that everybody go to Weird Al's official YouTube channel where you can listen to Alapalooza for free. I've said this for every album we've recorded. I really actually mean it, though. If you've never listened to a Weird Al album in its entirety, I think Alapalooza is a great place to start.
Jurassic Park is frightening in the dark. All the dinosaurs are running wild. Someone let T-Rex.
So guys, I want to tell you a story. It won't be too long, don't worry. It's about this guy. His name is Jimmy Webb. Turns out he's one of the greatest American songwriters of all time. But there is one song that he wrote. MacArthur Park is one of music's greatest punching bags. It is an overwrought piece of melodrama. And Jimmy admits in his biography that he was in a pretty rough place when he wrote the song. Now, this guy has nothing to apologize for. He's written some amazing music, but this song just kept coming back again and again and again. People just covering it nonstop. People reminding him all the time, it's like, man, it's kind of silly about this guy singing about this cake that's melting in the rain. He just could not escape it. It kept coming back and haunting him until one day when Alfred Yankovic said, hey, Jimmy, I want to do a song about Jurassic Park, and I want to use MacArthur Park as the base for it. And Jimmy said, and I quote, this parody ought to bury that song once and for all. And guess what? It did, and it gave him closure. Jimmy even performs Jurassic Park with those lyrics at concerts. I wanted to open up with that because obviously you guys know I'm giving it S quadruple plus out of the gate. You know where I stand on this particular song. That's why this song is so important. Like, it gave a man peace.
I love that story. Fantastic.
I'm glad that you dug that story up. Let's see it change my mind.
That had to have changed your mind. I mean,
No, this song is just an A. It's not an
no,
S.
please. Oh.
Dan, I'm sorry. No one was jonesing for a MacArthur Park cover.
And yet, this song achieves every single goal it sets out to.
Personally, Dan, not even a big dinosaur kid. Jurassic Park didn't really do it for me. I mean, this is the start of Al realizing he can lead off with movie recap songs.
Yeah.
But this is the least of the bunch. He takes a rough movie and elevates it the next time out.
Wait. Let's back up here. A rough movie? Are you talking about Jurassic Park?
No. I'm talking about after this. He takes a rough movie and elevates it. Jurassic Park didn't need Al covering it to be a hit, right? I want you to tell me that this is the better of the movie recap songs.
I mean, I think The Saga Begins is fun, but...
Is it a better song than this?
I don't think so, because American Pie is the worst song.
Really? This song is it's schmaltzy and not in a way that I enjoy.
In terms of being a timeless parody, the subject matter works. Jurassic Park is going to be a part of our culture, even if it had not gotten any sequels, even if the book hadn't smashed all the bestseller lists. That movie was so big for so long. Like, it kind of codified the 1990s summer blockbuster in a way that previous films hadn't. The problem is, MacArthur Park, nobody cares. It was the correct song to attach to this parody, but one man found peace, but the rest of us just went, MacArthur what?
But that, just because you went MacArthur what, it still sounds really good.
I agree, but Dan, like Buttface says, it's just a really schmaltzy song. Don't listen to MacArthur Park, by the way. This is an abridged version. That song is so long. It goes on forever.
Al improved it by cutting out half the song.
So it's an elevated parody, for sure. Dan, I have to give it a B.
Oh, it's a
Beautiful low S. Definitely an S. Buttface, what is wrong with you?
No, it is an A. I will not give it an S. It does not deserve that high honor because, again, there are better movie recap songs.
It is schmaltzy. It is overwrought. But Al took the kernel of what was good and true in that song and reforged it into something brilliant. That is what makes it S tier.
Schmaltzy and overwrought were the perfect comedic foils for a recap song of Jurassic Park.
Yes.
And that's one of the reasons this song works so well.
I'm afraid those things will harm me, because they sure don't act like Barney, and they think that I'm their dinner, not their friend. Oh no!
So I do think this song failed at being an actual timeless parody, but it definitely succeeded at opening the album in an S tier for me. Dan, I'm sorry for making you sweat. I didn't know that Buttface was actually going to break your heart. Like, we didn't confer on this. He didn't tell me.
No, I knew he was going to sink it. I knew he was going to do it.
I'm sinking it by giving it an A++. This lives at the top of A tier.
Dan, I got more bad news for you, man.
Oh, yeah?
We've established previously and reiterated already in this episode that Buttface is young. And you graduated college, right?
Yes.
Yeah, see, I'm a dropout, so that makes me dumb and you ugly.
Oh.
I knew that this episode was going to be a lot of feels, and it turns out they're all bad feels.
Oh,
so.
no.
I imagine that I get similar nutrients from this song that, like, normie Weird Al fans get from Dare to Be Stupid. Yeah, this song has so many great lines. I think it's so funny. Rebels Without a Clue.
Trubel.
You can't imagine the smell. Gets me every time. So yeah, good rock, great, funny lyrics. I definitely would put this song in an A tier.
I wrote in my notes, they're rebelling in the most minor of ways. Like, and it's what nerds think breaking the rules means.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly it.
I don't know, I feel like owning the title of Young, Dumb, and Ugly is kind of the definition of youthful rebellion. Like, we're loud or obnoxious and we're just gonna get up in your business about it.
Yeah, but they're doing it in dumb, silly ways that are not real rebellion.
Look, man, toilet paper is a valuable resource these days. Brick nailed it. This is a stealth sequel to Dare to Be Stupid, but with stronger direction. Also, okay, weird side note is I have a giant soft spot for AC/DC. And Al is doing a really decent singing in gravelly falsetto like Brian Johnson. It's crazy.
I do think this is stretching his register just a little much, but I still think he does a good job. Like, I don't think he could sing this song today, unfortunately.
That's how you get to that tone, though, right?
I wrote in my notes, I'm actually getting a lot of, like, Poison and Def Leppard vibes from this, kind of.
Again, outside my wheelhouse. It's like AC/DC is that one narrow lane I got for this.
So, Buttface, would you say that this song is in the zip code of, like, the highway to the nature trail of hell?
It's the overpass, kind of, that takes you around it.
They're on the overpass in their leather jackets in 90-degree weather.
Yep. I mean, and we've heard that Al can, like, get that really chugging guitar, and he doesn't quite bring it for this song. But still, like, this is an A-tier song.
Dan, where do you want this song?
I mean, I gave this an A. The lyrics are very silly, and they're the nice kind of silly. And Al is deftly kind of like mixing multiple of these artists together, which admittedly, you listen to enough AC/DC and Motorhead and Twisted Sister and everything, they do kind of blend together a bit. So yeah.
And I mean, again, this is another one of those timeless songs of the kids these days are gonna rebel, and it's gonna be kind of quaint.
Mr. Yankovic, you were never dumb or ugly.
Yabba dabba yabba dabba dabba do now. Yabba dabba yabba dabba dabba do now. Don't know what it means, but I say it anyhow. Well, man, I'm home.
In Mark Russell's Flintstones 2016, the 12-issue comic book published by DC Comics, Fred and Barney are attending their lodge meetings of the Loyal Order of Water Buffaloes, and the two are recounting their tales of their time in a war. And when they are done recounting those sordid tales and trying to deal with their post-traumatic stress disorder, the group chants their mantra, yabba dabba do now. That is not a joke. And by the way, I highly recommend everybody listening read Flintstones 2016 because it rules.
You're not the first person to tell me that, and you're not going to be the last, but I'm still not doing it.
I've never heard the words Flintstones and rules in the same sentence before.
Or post-traumatic stress. You know, let's throw that one out there.
I bring that up only to say that that is probably the best piece of Flintstones material that has ever been committed to paper or film or whatever. This, unfortunately, does not measure up, but I can't help but like it. And the reason why I like it is that A, it mashes up both Under the Bridge and Give It Away. The city of Bedrock. That's worked its way into my brain. I can never unhear it.
Funky, funky neurons, man.
Yeah, I know. The bass and drum sound, which is critical to being a Chili Pepper sound, is nailed. It's got that little mouth harp going on, that twang, twang, twang thing. And this song is a banger because Give It Away is a banger.
Oof.
You know, Dan, I think Give It Away is such a lousy bass for a parody.
Yeah.
Under the Bridge is a much better bass because that song has so much variance from how it starts to where it goes and how it escalates. But if you do a parody of Under the Bridge, you lose the obvious Flintstones joke.
Correct.
So the only question to my mind for this song is the Flintstones joke worth it? You know what? I'm going to stick to Isle Thing, I think.
Yeah, I am not a big Chili Peppers guy. Some of their later stuff is kind of more my style. I'm thinking like Californication, but like I can't blame this song for not being a time traveler, even though we know Weird Al has a time machine. And yeah, Give It Away just kind of sounds like a discount toned down Primus. So yeah, not a big fan of the sonic experience of this one. Yeah, it's one of the two songs on this album that I'm going to skip.
Me too.
I mean, I had a whole bunch of crap written about Chili Peppers, and Give It Away is like their least interesting sound.
What I'm saying is, instead, I would have much rather had a John the Fisherman parody about the Jetsons.
Okay. Okay, I can dig
That's
it.
the alternate universe where like HD DVD won the
Yeah.
format war.
Yep.
It's a D.
Wow, okay.
D for Dino.
D for down, Dino.
I mean, I gave this a B. Well, the reason why I gave it a B is because of the bridge. I laugh every time he goes, Barney Rubble, what a little wiener. And then, Wilma, where's Wilma?
Listen, everybody loves singing about Barney Rubble's wiener. But the lyrics after that point just get very random and disconnected. Like he's run out of situations to sing about the Flintstones. He's like,
I
oh
know.
crap, how do I rhyme with wiener? Has anybody seen Wilma? Nice.
I'm not saying they're great lyrics. I'm just saying that the way L delivers them is very funny.
This song puts a smile on your face, and we're not going to fault you for that. We're going to fault the song for that.
Sure.
That's the biggest screen we've ever seen. It's Frank's 2000 HTV. Frank's 2000 HTV.
Yo, all right, we get to the first S-tier song I want to pitch. Let's see if y'all can pick it up. As far as the song goes, we're dipping back into Rem, and like, Rem's my kind of jam. Plus, any song with a mandolin in it just puts a smile on my face. And it's getting bonus points for a chorus that you can harmonize to. Now, I will admit, off the air, I was baiting Mr. Userlandia himself with this song, asking dumb questions like, what would a refresh rate on this be if it was a CRT? And, okay, well, how about the resolution? What would each pixel be sized at? And wouldn't you know it, if he came back within 20 minutes with a Jumbotron installation manual PDF. So, folks, I think it's best for him to take it away.
Gotta have the facts. Gotta run these numbers.
Well, here are the facts. So a 2,000-inch TV is 166.66666 repeating feet, or 55.5555 yards repeating. At the time that Al wrote this song, the world's largest Jumbotron was at the Sky Dome, now known as the Rogers Centre in Toronto, Ontario. That was 114 feet, or 1,368 inches. Because satire is dead, there are Jumbotrons now larger than 2,000 inches. Obviously, of course, we've got video walls and everything else, but at AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Texas, their Jerrytron is over 2,100 inches. It exists. It is now a thing. So, a 2,000-inch TV. You got to think about it. How far away do you need to be from that TV to actually enjoy the picture? Well, the maximum recommended viewing distance for such a TV would be around 692 feet away from it, which in the context of a football stadium, not so bad. The actual recommended to have it fill your field of view between your two eyes, I think it's like 30 degrees, is 248 feet. But if you're putting NTSC stuff, which is what Frank would be watching at the time, the viewing distance, you'd be able to get away at like 640-ish. Now, given this math, watching The Simpsons 30 blocks away would be a real challenge. If we use the short end of a Manhattan Standard block, which is 264 feet, that's around 7,920 feet, or a mile and a half. That's over 10 times the maximum recommended viewing distance. You'd probably be able to see the TV. It'll be like if you were watching a Sony Watchman, you know, one of those little itty-bitty old portable TVs. And as a bonus fact, is that 90,000 watts of sound, assuming you have a perfectly efficient amplifier, would require 375 amps of electricity at 240 volts, keeping in mind that most household electric supplies are 200 amps. Frank is he's not just buying a TV and a stereo. He's also probably getting a nuclear power plant installed at his house.
Did we just listen to a song, or are we on Dan's podcast now? As far as the song goes,
I love the song. I mean, this is an S, obviously.
I usually am not. I'm not as critical about the actual musical composition of songs. I usually don't notice the depth of musical composition and production the way that you two do. But holy crap, I love the harmonies on this song. So good. And I really love the lyrics. It's a really funny song.
Yeah, about consumerism and how we got to keep up with the Joneses and everything.
No, screw all that. No, it's just about a big TV. All right, I don't need the commentary. I don't need the late stage capitalism. Just man wants a big TV. Man buys a big TV. Simple monkey brain is happy.
One thing I wrote in my notes here was that this song really gets like early REM, not so much stand era REM, but even stuff before that. It gets it really well, and I honestly think my favorite musical part of this song is with the mandolin and they're going, hey now, now, now. It's like, yeah, that is the REM feels.
It's the bridge leading into the chorus there. It's so good.
That's a trademark of REM.
I'm sitting there harmonizing along with it. It's so much fun.
I'm gonna give this an extremely high A.
An extremely high A?
I've never gone to YouTube and typed Weird Al 2,000-inch TV specifically to listen to this song. It doesn't have that quality, but every time I listen to this album or every time it pops up in a playlist, it's always a joy to hear.
Okay, well, that then brings to mind, is it better than Jurassic Park?
No.
All right. It is A+++, not the fourth plus.
But Mr. DJ, please, I'm begging on my knees. I just can't take no more of Billy Ray. Don't play that song, that achy breaky song.
Guys, I did research.
Oh, good.
Not like you guys you do when you're wiki diving or flipping through liner notes for anything. I engaged in a little bit of sociology, a bit of oral history. You see, my stepfather, for most of the 90s, was a musician. He played music gigs all up and down Clearwater Beach, classic rock and country. Called him up the other night, and I asked him, said, you can be honest, you know, we're all friends here. You can tell me, did you play Billy Ray? What he said was, I refused to play Billy Ray Cyrus. He drew the line at Billy Ray.
This is the line. We go no further.
He said everybody hated that song.
The thing is that Billy Ray did not write this song. It was actually a song by a group called the Marcy Brothers.
Look. We've discussed this a bit before.
Yeah.
We discussed it last week, actually. You guys know that I always love the takedown songs, right? Mm-hmm. But if anybody deserved a takedown song, it was Billy goddamn Ray Cyrus in 1993.
Yeah, you know what? I'm still gonna draw the line there, though, Brick, because we can't not put this song in F tier, because it's not just the meanest of mean-spirited songs as far as punching bags go. And it's not just solely focusing on Achy Breaky Heart, deserve it or not. It's also dumping on, and here's the full list in order: Barry Manilow, New Kids on the Block, Village People, Vanilla Ice, Bee Gees, Debbie Boone, ABBA. Come on, why are you dunking on ABBA, man? Slim Whitman, who's Zamfir or whoever, Yoko Ono, and Tiffany. Like, this is the ultimate I'm just going to name everything I hate song. Why is Al doing that?
Dunking on tying to a chair and getting kicked down the stairs? Like,
that's what he's comparing everything else in the song. That whole list I just gave, he's like, those are up there with being tied to a chair and kicked down the stairs. We also are now taking points off for including hand farts, because it friggin' includes hand farts and just belching in the bass for no good reason. It's also a country song, which y'all have knocked points off for the last time as, well, it's just not my style. I was defending the execution. That was last time. This execution sucks. It's all over the place. Nope, it's F tier. It is
Okay.
right next to Billy Joel. This is its great granddaddy.
Buttface just talked me out of F tier.
What?
Al knew that Achy Breaky Heart was a terrible song. Everybody knew it. It was overexposed. So the hand farts, the belching, the purposely bad sound. He took Achy Breaky Heart and he wiped his butt with it.
He did.
And you know what? I gotta respect that. D minus minus minus.
My notes here, I wrote, this is the death rattle of Dr. Demento Weird Al. Because it's got the farts, it's got the belches, you know, the farts plus the belches plus the kazoo make this kind of barnyard sound. Yeah, this is as close as Al gets to Billy Joel and just like being mean.
But he's not just being mean to one target. He's dragging a laundry list of folks through the muck
I think
with
what
this.
you're misinterpreting here. So I don't think this is Al specifically dunking on them. This is Al doing a character that is dunking on them.
That is a fine hair to split.
It is a very fine hair to split, but
But the thing is like, he's like, you know what? I would rather be listening to Thinks of a Bad Thing, Tiffany, than this.
I would rather listen to Tiffany than this.
Yes, this cannot be higher than an F tier. No one wants to listen to this song.
Well, I haven't given it a rank yet. I mean, I gave it a D. One thing I did want to note is that apparently, according to the liner notes, all proceeds from this song are donated to the United Cerebral Palsy. Al does not make any money from this song, apparently.
Oh, just in case you're wondering, I'll tell you where I am. I'm right here, right here, right here, right here. Stuck right here in the middle of this traffic jam. I haven't moved 1 inch from this here.
Golden, absolute perfection. I cannot listen to this song without bouncing side to side in my seat or putting a jaunty pep in my step. I don't drive, so I don't know what I'd do if I was listening to this in a car, but I would probably have to pull over just for safety reasons. Like, I need to sit down and study the bouncy bass line to this song. It's perfect. The funky synth bass breakdown right before the guitar solo. This needs an old Nickelodeon style animated music video of like bouncy cars stretching down to the horizon. And as those synth keys hit, just the wave of traffic moves exactly one car forward and then the wave of red brake like follow. I love it.
My lady wife and I end up in a couple traffic jams every year. I'm always make sure to dust off the bag of bran muffins line. It's ageless.
Like, I hear this song, and all I think is Jay Giles Band. This actually is riffing on Let's Go Crazy by Prince.
Yeah.
But the production is very different, obviously, because Prince apparently either not very nice to Weird Al or was such a stick in the mud that Al could just never convince him to do anything. So my headcanon is Al noticed how much Let's Go Crazy, put it in the blender with freeze frame, and we've got this. He's like, I'm not touching you, Prince. I'm not touching you. I can say, yeah, I mean, being in traffic sucks. However, I have one piece of advice for everybody listening. Do not door a motorcycle, especially because A,
Just don't clothesline them, are you sure?
Because A, that is a crime. And B, lane splitting is legal in California where this song was written. So
Be sure not to murder those people you don't like, viewers. I like this for A tier.
A?
Is that Canadian or what are we doing there?
Again, this is an S tier song in my heart.
I really like the song. I think it's very creative and inventive. I don't think it's S.
You don't want to go higher than TV, though.
No.
with this, do you, Dan?
I love this bounce to this song.
This might be the lowest A that we have on this album, honestly.
My dog's a narcoleptic. My mom's a circus freak. I gotta get a spot on her Robo show this week. 'Cause I wanna tell the world about it right now.
So the story behind this is that the folks at E! Entertainment Television had their hit show, Talk Soup, which summarized all the talk shows, apparently. Think of it like TMZ, except 20 years ahead of its time. They commissioned Al to make a theme song for the show, and he did all this work and made the song, and they wound up not using it. They said, So I've never heard what the actual cut for the show would have sounded like. I mean, this song is, 4.5 minutes long?
It's got a long tail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the reason why they wound up not using this is because this kind of sound was going away. Like, this was 1992. It does have very much that Sledgehammer kind of Peter Gabriel feel to it.
I have two notes of the snare that just won't quit. Who boy?
Oh yeah, the gated reverbs hasn't died yet.
And a horn riff. Peter Gabriel could be proud of.
I found it really hard to rank this song. I do like the musical production of it. I hate the lyrics. I hate them. I understand this was the style at the time. People use that stuff as a punching bag. We don't, hopefully, do it anymore.
This is going to be the album of splitting very fine hairs, I can tell. You mentioned that, like, E! Entertainment didn't want to use this song because the music is sounding a little dated. I think that's being generous. I think if they had a reason why they didn't want to use this song, it's because Al's message is, yo, daytime talk shows suck all the ass. They're terrible. They were terrible in the 90s. Everybody knew they were terrible. We watched them anyway. Buttface, do you even know what a 90s daytime talk show was like?
Look, Brick, you guys know I didn't have TV growing up, but I get the premise of a talk show, right? Like, I can't ever imagine sitting down to watch one, though. The experience sounds excruciating. Just sitting there listening to random strangers drivel on about their life stories only tangentially related to some unique angle or topic. I'd much prefer listening to podcasts.
So, because I asked myself the same question that Dan brought up. Like, is this comedy too dated? And I think the song has aged better than the material it's riffing, because if you describe to somebody what, like, Sally Jesse Raphael was like in the 90s, and they're like, okay, so that's just garbage trash.
But the funny thing is, like, Sally Jesse Raphael was actually a peak. We would actually get even worse than...
Oh, you're right. You're definitely, like, 2 albums from now, we've got the same song
Yes.
again, but more specified.
It's a B. It's fine. It's fine. It's a B.
Yeah, I got it in B as well. I think there's one angle of this song we haven't considered, though. How much of this song is just Al hiding, like, sincere confessions in the middle of, I have a thing for poodles and rubber underwear? We oversharing, Al?
It's living in the fridge. Can't stop the mold from growing. Living in the fridge. Can't tell what it is at all.
This is unambiguously the best song on the album, bar none. Al nails this one so hard. I am already kind of a sucker for this folk rock sound, but man, making a song about the universal experience of the fridge of unspeakable horrors. Oh, it's one of my favorite tropes. 6 years after this song came out, they do it in Cowboy Bebop, the 11th episode, Toys in the Attic.
Ooh, good
And
episode.
the earliest example of this trope that I'm fond of is from the Douglas Adams second Dirk Gently outing, The Long Dark Tea Time of the Soul from 1988, a very formative book for me. This song is perfect. There are no notes. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go chuck out some Tupperware.
You know what really needed a parody? The Livin' on the Edge music video. Holy crap, I saw that video for the first time this past week.
Oh.
What a nightmare-inducing, just
I know, right?
hallucinatory. Fun fact about that video is the entire thing was filmed inside Steven Tyler's mouth.
I can believe it. Is Living on the Edge, is that third wave Aerosmith or is it fourth wave Aerosmith? Because they've had so many different phases and changes in their career, kind of like Al. And for at least our generation, this probably was our introduction to Aerosmith.
Arrow who?
Yeah, exactly. The sound is perfect. It's like literally no notes. It's I can't. It's how? That's the thing is like now that Al is doing his own production, you notice how we're not really giving as many notes anymore, saying, oh, this doesn't get the vibe of the song or whatever. It's like, no, nails the sound of the song perfectly.
And again, it's a universal experience of the fridge of unspeakable horrors.
I literally have to clean out my fridge tonight after we're
That
done
is my
recording.
to-do list. We recorded these at the start of my weekend, and all week I've been listening to this album thinking, I gotta clean out my fridge. I gotta clean out my fridge.
So, Dan, you like this for S too, right?
Absolutely.
Is that what I'm hearing?
For one reason, the backing vocals of dysentery.
Gentlemen, we have our third S tier song.
Hooray.
Took us long enough.
She never told me she was a mime. Oh no.
As a former bass clarinet player, I'm supposed to be contractually obligated to dislike the baritone saxophone. And yet, here I am grooving along to baritone sax. So you win this round, Joel Peskin. My note for this is this feels even more plausible in today's world of online dating.
So the joke is that she couldn't tell him that she was a mime because mimes don't speak. Now, the problem is that it's not that she was a mime. That's not the relationship breakdown here. It's that she was a method actor. Never break character. Do not date method actors. Mimes, fine. Method actors, it's a no-go right there.
This is like an Alanis Morissette complaint. Like, Al, you wrote a whole song about how you hate mimes, but you really hate method actors.
Listening to this song, I can definitely get this sort of late 70s Aerosmith vibe when they would definitely have a honking baritone sax and trumpets kind of stuff going on. And this song is kind of like in the Melanie zone for me in that I think it's a really solid original. I just debating on whether I want it to be an A or B, and I'm willing to be convinced.
The problem with Mime is it takes like 900 job points to master.
Yeah, you would.
I got this in B. Fun song, good gags, but it goes away quick.
Nah, man, see, I'm here. I'm loving the mime song. It's a good premise to start with. And then Al just spins it out into this fully fleshed out, entirely realized relationship drama with all of these antics that you could have with one partner being a method actor and a mime. We've been talking about the universal experiences. This is the love story for the ages, right? We can all relate to this one. You guys never dated a method acting mime? It's just me? Okay, and this is an S tier on lyrics alone for just the high concept premise expanded on perfectly.
I couldn't put this above Traffic Jam in our A tier.
Well, it's like I said, I could do A or B. I needed to be convinced, but I'm not really being convinced
well.
so far.
All right, well, it's going to go down to B tier then. and Buttface can just method act about it.
Always. Never break character.
Oh, Harvey, Harvey, Harvey the Wonder Hamster. He doesn't bite and he doesn't squeal. He just runs around on his hamster wheel.
Summer vacation, new kid moves in the neighborhood. We're playing in the front yard, Z-Bots or something stupid. He's like, "Have you heard Harvey?" I'm like, "Harvey the what?" He's like, "Ah, come with me." That was it, my friends. That was the gateway drug into the varied and majestic landscape of Weird Al Yankovic for me. Well, let's go over the facts, okay?
Okay.
He doesn't bite. He doesn't squeal. An S-tier song for an S-tier hamster.
Okay.
I also have short notes. Al should do a sports/marching band song. Good first attempt. B.
I cannot put this in S. It's like this. My note is well executed, but I don't care. Al, you're trying to make this a thing. The more you try to make it a thing, the more I resist it. Harvey was a bit from the Al TV specials that they did on MTV where they played his videos and Al did these fake interviews with celebrities and they're all up on YouTube. You can go watch it. And it was fine. I mean, he tries bringing them back. He does the stuff at the live shows. He
has a music video now, as of 3 or 4 years ago.
I could say it's a perfectly good gateway. Like if you heard this for the first time, like, oh, I want to get into Weird Al, totally get it.
All right, hold on. Let me just go back to my notes here. Want to make sure all my bases are covered, okay? Like maybe make sure that I'm not hearing something you guys. So he doesn't bite, he doesn't squeal. An S-tier song for an S-tier hamster, right?
If there was anything about him cleaning his own cage, maybe. But like, I've seen some hamsters.
Hamsters are the worst animals on the planet, except for Harvey, because, and just to reiterate, he doesn't bite, he doesn't squeal.
I gave this a C.
I only gave it a B. Again, I got a soft spot for the jingles, but like, you should do a full marching song, Al. You got the chops for it, kid.
I make the best darn waffles this world has ever seen. I'm the Waffle King. Yeah.
Maybe the mythology of the Waffle King has been built up to this point on his long journey from checks in the mail to now. But fellas, we've arrived in the era of the waffle, and it is sweet. The escalation from verse to verse as the full extent of this guy's ego is laid bare. The funk on display in the actual songwriting. And maybe the best and most appropriate long fade out as this guy just squeezes every moment of the spotlight for all it's worth before the curtains are finally drawn shut. And let's not forget that this is example of what a style pastiche or style parody, as opposed to just riffing on Sledgehammer, the actual song, as its clear musical jumping off point. Al just really gets his hands in there and explores the place and makes it his own. I love this song.
This is just a bit of circumstance because this song was supposed to be on Off the Deep End, but it got bumped to this album. So we happen to have this and Talk Soup. So we get two Peter Gabriel vibes on the same album. This really is just a Peter Gabriel vibe, whereas Talk Soup is leaning much more into Sledgehammer itself as the inspiration, while this pulls a lot from various Peter Gabriel songs, and it even pulls a little bit from Yes, because the opening bit is very much Leave It by Yes. It's such a great fusion. It's like chicken and waffles. You don't think they go together, and then you eat them, and you're like, damn.
That raises a question. Buttface, what'd you have for dinner tonight?
I had tacos.
You had tacos. Yeah, I had waffles. So you are revealed as a fake fan. Yeah, I like this song a lot. I think this is a solid A.
This is an S tier.
Yeah, I gave it an A.
Beelzebub had the devil put aside for me, for me, for me.
Is it possible to listen to any version of that song and not sing along to the entire song?
Can't be done.
Oh,
I mean,
can we
yeah.
listen to it again?
Sure.
We can go back and listen to it again, right? Bohemian Rhapsody, the cultural phenomenon, is completely timeless. Obviously, the song has been a classic for decades by the time Al recorded this album, but in the early 90s, like the visual from the
Yeah.
movie Wayne's World galvanized Bohemian Rhapsody is like, when you just picture people rocking out, that's the scene you picture, and it's always going to be the scene you picture. And it just so happens that that kind of timeless cultural phenomenon that Al's trying to tap into had the perfect song to go along with it to parody. Bohemian Rhapsody. This song is obviously immaculate. It's a timeless homage to one of the all-time classics. This song would be at home on any Weird Al album from 1983 all the way up to 2022. This particular album was the right moment in history to really strike for maximum cultural resonance. And this is the second of 3 Weird Al polkas that I'm placing in S tier.
Is this the first polka that uses the gunshot sound? And I know Buttface accepted the challenge for this.
As far as I can tell, this is the first gunshot we've got.
Yes, so here's the thing. This is the demarcation line between Al's previous polkas and every polka going forward. This is the first, quote-unquote, modern polka that Al has done. Every polka going forward sounds like this polka.
Although this one, because Al features that spittoon sound effect in several polkas, but this is the only one where it's lyrically relevant.
Yes. I mean, obviously, this is an S tier because, I mean, Freddie died in 1991, and that was a big deal, not just for AIDS awareness and everything else, but just in the world of music. It really, this big hole in people's hearts after Freddie passed. And I can definitely see Al saying, man, I want to do a fitting tribute to Freddie.
The song is just pure love.
Yep.
It is a full cover of a song with no parody lyrics, but in a new and unique style, is a fantastic way to breathe life into a well-worn ditty and make it your own. And we agree with that.
I'm going to heavily disagree with
No,
description of Bohemian Rhapsody as a well-worn. A ditty is something
I'm
you
not
whistle in the
describing
shower.
Bohemian Rhapsody. I'm building one sentence at a time here, all right? Can we agree that doing a cover in a new style is how you make something your own?
Sure.
Falling short of that, why should we listen to your version opposed to the original?
And
I'm just...
Yeah, I'm waiting for the follow-up.
yeah.
You listen to this and you don't think Weird Al
I'm
made this
just
song his
building
own?
my groundwork here so that I can see exactly the point where you guys are going to start yelling at me.
Get on with it.
This isn't a polka medley. It's Al just doing a cover that happens to be in the polka style. So I'm not grading
There's
it.
technically a medley to this because Al has some of his original polka
But it's
in
it's not
it.
Also, the original song is sort of a medley
Right,
of
but
lots of different, like,
I'm not
operatic and rock
grading
styles.
this as a polka medley. I'm grading it as I would any other cover of any other song by any other artist. Al just doesn't happen to do covers.
He did George of the Jungle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. Generally, he doesn't do covers.
Beverly Hillbillies was technically a cover.
I mean, Brady Bunch,
Ew.
kind of.
Oh, Bohemian Polka, probably his
So,
best cover of all
We're
time.
grading this as a cover. Does he make it his own? Yeah, absolutely. No, this song rocks. No, this is great. I love this song. It's an S tier. No questions asked. It is not an S tier polka medley, though, so I still have 3 of those in the can.
I legitimately felt my chest start to seize up.
No, this is
I
this is
don't
an,
know what
this
it
is
takes
an,
to please
this
you
is an
sometimes.
S tier cover. It's not an S tier polka medley.
So, what my notes here that we have 3 albums in a row, starting with this one, that are absolute monsters. You have this, and then Bad Hair Day, and then Running with
See,
Scissors.
for me, my list of Weird Al Renaissance is Bad Hair Day, Running with Scissors, Poodle Hat.
We'll discuss
Look,
that
this
later.
is great, but I just love the next 3 albums even more. But that's going to be the problem going forward. Is I love every album after this more and more and more.
Yes, you're not wrong, and that is true for me too. It's like if this album didn't have Achy Breaky song, I probably could have put it in S.
Or Bedrock Anthem. I'm not a big fan of Bedrock Anthem at all, man.
This is solidly an A album. It's A for Alapalooza.
Oh, yeah. Is this the strongest album we've heard yet? Yes, absolutely, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think it's fair that we end this album with something that is pretty contemporary with it. After this album came out, Scotti Brothers got Al to release his first real box set, Permanent Record. And part of promoting that was a new original song for that box set. We present that to you as tonight's potpourri.
And so she hired some guy to club her in the kneecap.
And now, a dramatic reading of a quote from Brad Roberts from the Crash Test Dummies. People assume that I was annoyed, but when Yankovic does a parody of you, you know that you've made it. End quote. Guys, I love this song so much. It is dumb and bad. Well, not bad, but it's dumb. And I love it because it's so dumb. I understand that Buttface was negative 11 billion years old when this was written and recorded.
Hey, man, they made that I, Tonya movie back in 2017. I don't know what you're talking about.
My God, I love the orchestration. Again, this is a case where they're nailing the sound. Valterra is doing some really good work with the quiet backing keyboards, the percussion that happens. There's like an anvil hits that are going on, and that little hit of the bell, the ding, when it's supposed to be Nancy Kerrigan giving her smile. It's like, that gets me every time.
I always forget that's in the song because I
know.
usually watch the video.
I know. And they got Lisa Popeil back to do the scream of Nancy Kerrigan. And apparently this was a very expensive video. Al is on the record saying, like, we could have written a bunch of other music and done so much other stuff. We probably could have produced another album for the cost of this video.
Wow.
So this whole time you're talking about percussion and background vocals, and I'm just hearing hand farts and belching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do without the hand farts and belching.
So that's knocking down a couple points, and I kind of already hate the song. That song just is a nothing blip on my radar. I do not like it.
This song, along with like Pogs and Magic the Gathering, took over my middle school. All right. We were like in class writing extra verses. Like we had Michael Fay's mom going back to Singapore with an Uzi, and like Nancy Kerrigan at the Olympics performing Mortal Kombat finishers. It was awesome.
1994 was a great year in video gaming.
But we have to split that same fine hair, don't we?
We do.
Okay, so it's not a takedown song exactly, but it is a takedown of like the media sensationalizing things that are, let's not mince words, actual violent tragedies in these people's lives. Like the video in particular, like one thing that never sat right with me, even as a kid, was the video portrays Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan as like being in a cat fight, but Kerrigan was an assault victim.
Yeah, she was brutally injured.
The mutilation of that poor man and Mr. Happy as played for laughs as he frantically searches.
Although when he pulls the hot dogs out of the fridge, like that's a...
But we're not
terrific
grading the
visual.
videos, we're grading the songs.
The song was super, super, super funny when I was 12. It has a very juvenile sense of humor. And there is still a lot of humor to be mined, both laughing at misery and mocking the media reporting on stuff that kind of doesn't matter in the long term. I do find that the song, I find it less funny as I go on, and I think I've settled it like a tepid B.
I find the song easily skipped. I would put it as a C.
I give this a B, if only because I love the musical parts of it. I mean, Ricky is correct in that, you know, when we're in the moment, you know, these were stuff that people were riffing on David Letterman and Saturday Night Live because, you know, it was the 90s. It was the end of history.
Yeah, society's still here. This song, though, forgettable.
And apparently Al does updated verses of this song at live shows sometimes where he like makes fun of like Britney Spears and stuff. So it kind of has a legacy to it that is... I doubt he'll ever record any of that, but this song he did put it on medium rarities. Like he didn't forget about it.
Yeah. And I mean, to his credit, he insisted that this song be released as a single so people who didn't necessarily have the scratch to buy the whole box set could still get new Weird Al material. So,
Yeah, what happened to that guy? That guy that made that decision could have made the decision to release medium rarities without having to buy a $400 squeeze box.
well,
Harvey the Wonder Hamster. Hey, Harvey!
what's your opinion once your Windows
My
startup
opinion is
sound
apparently
goes away?
Windows sounds across the room.
That's our outro stinger.
No, that.